What's up, brewskis? My name is Marco Dupa. With me, as always, is the great and powerful Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
Yeah, boy.
Tonight's beer is from the I always fucking fuck this point.
Sixpoint
Brewery. Because there's the six.
Sure. Yeah, definitely.
The Sixpoint Brewing Company barrel-aged 4-bean porter. We're so excited to have this one on because we saw this, and it's exciting. Sixpoint is kind of coming back with a resurgence.
Yeah.
So that's exciting stuff. Tonight's or what's on tonight's show?
What's
Sora.
on tap, Marco?
Ooh, I like that. I like that. Branding, baby.
Uh-huh.
Sora in Super Smash.
Mm-hmm.
Do you listen to a playlist over and over and over again?
Sometimes.
Well, you shouldn't.
Okay.
And Squid Game. Do you even know what you really watched? All that and more on today's podcast. This is the One Beer In podcast.
Lost to be found by someone to save you when you're down. Yes, I'm bored when it's bright out. So bored when it's bright out. 4 to 5 a.m. takes me to a place where I fit in.
My goodness. Yep.
Oh, that kicks you in the throat.
Uh-huh. Ooh, ooh, That's right, kids. This is the One Beer In podcast, the podcast where two brews crack open a brew, and we see where that one brew takes us. This is episode 327. And Obi, if you would please do us the honors and tell us a little bit more about what we're drinking tonight.
I would love to. It is the barrel-aged 4 beans from Sixpoint Brewery. The cold read, which this one does have, I'm very excited to say,
Always do.
is as follows. Barrel-aged porter with cocoa husks, coffee, and Madagascar vanilla added. Deep in the rainforests of Madagascar lies one of the most coveted spices ever discovered, the decadent vanilla bean.
Vanilla bean.
In 4 beans, registered trademark, rich brew from beans and barley, a special blend of liquid aged in rye whiskey and bourbon barrels, meets Madagascar vanilla to fuse Baltic myth and treasured spice. 4 beans has returned.
And so is Sixpoint Brewing. And we're very excited because if you don't do this, but if you have listened to
Please don't.
earlier episodes,
Oh, no.
you'll know that when Sixpoint was really popping, I mean, we were all over that shit.
Big fans, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Big fans. So it's very exciting to see them come back. Not to say that they haven't been making stuff. It's just they haven't been like really, I don't know.
They fell off our radar at least.
Yeah. And not just our radar, because when we got this in at Red Light, Steve and I, shout out to Steve, we were talking about the fact that, you know, we finally have something from Sixpoint at the brewery, and that we hadn't got anything from them in a while,
yeah.
and that they kind of, I guess their hype train was a little derailed.
Okay.
For
Yeah.
reasons I don't know and don't care to speculate on.
Well, there was, obviously we were around this. I mean, the show was started essentially in the modern craft beer boom.
Uh-huh.
So I think maybe things kind of settled a little bit since then. But
Yeah.
I'm glad they're still around. It's they're one of the OGs for the show. So
So let's get into it, kids. First and foremost, stop the fucking presses, because Super Smash Bros. Announced their newest character.
hold the phone.
Hold the gosh darn phone.
You said the F word earlier.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
they don't care anymore.
I think
they really don't care anymore.
I heard you're allowed to say the bad word for poop.
Uh-huh.
And
The poopy word.
And what's the other one?
And the bad word for a female dog, or, if you want to be really disrespectful, a female, period.
Interesting.
We
Okay.
would never use that word that
That's
way.
surprising, actually, that
Yeah.
they would choose those two.
So we're 7 minutes in. You can say bitch and shit.
Okay.
You can say bitch and shit.
Uh-huh. You don't have to. It's not required.
Yeah, I mean, but what are you, little shit bitch?
Yes. It is me, shit bitch.
Shit bitch.
Yeah.
So, Sora.
Uh-huh.
Man, oh man. The announcement came a couple days ago. Yesterday? Doesn't matter.
Yeah, a couple days
Recently.
ago, let's say. Yeah.
And he is the final character in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Mm-hmm.
And
The ultimate character, some might say.
a lot of people were very, very excited about the fact that Nintendo was not only were they able to secure such a popular IP in their game, but also, I mean, pulling from the Disney bag, you know,
Kinda.
sorta, slightly.
Kinda.
I mean, I saw a tweet. Maybe you like this tweet. Maybe that's the reason I saw it. It was a picture of Steamboat Willie with a shotgun, and it was like Disney watching Nintendo not use any, making sure they don't use any Disney IP.
Yep.
Which I thought was really funny.
I mean, totally accurate.
Yeah.
The entire Disney. The only thing that they showed of Disney was the Mickey head on the key ring of
Yeah.
the Keyblade.
And even that, they were probably like,
Ugh. It's just a shape, guys. Don't worry about it.
Maybe they were like, what an oversight. What the fuck? And then like DEFCON 5 over at the Disney office is like, how could you let this happen?
Ugh. I can't imagine. I can't imagine the like the tightrope it is to walk Disney IP. You know?
I actually didn't know they had any Tekken characters.
Yeah. They have Kazuya and Heihachi, I think. Is Heihachi in there?
Adam has the full list of characters pulled up.
Yeah.
Is this a
ton.
tier list, or is this just when they've gotten into the game?
I couldn't tell you. This is the official SmashBros.com website.
Oh, so it wouldn't be a tier list because
No.
that would be a conflict of interest for them
Yeah,
to tell you which characters you need to be using.
Yeah, they're not doing that. But it doesn't look like all of the characters are here, right? So
82 characters. I think that's all of them.
that's all of them?
Hmm?
Oh, okay. I lied about Heihachi, apparently.
Yeah, just Kazuya.
Kazuya. And Ryu and Ken.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is exciting for the reasons I said before that, and just because of the fact that, like, you know, Sora's fucking awesome, man. And the fanboys are happy about it, but there are some fanboys who are not happy about it.
There are always fanboys that aren't happy.
I guess that's the point of fanboys, right?
I guess.
I mean, maybe not how God intended them.
That's kind of counterintuitive. Fanboys should enjoy things.
I've never met a fanboy who actually enjoyed anything, really.
That's true.
You know, for being like, for real.
Enjoy gatekeeping.
Yeah, they enjoy negativity.
Yeah.
They're like that meme of the that blood. I thrive off negativity.
Yeah.
Because that's all they want.
Uh-huh.
And now we're gonna get downvoted to hell.
Someone's going to insert every time either of us have complained about anything.
Yeah.
Right now.
Listen, I'm not saying that you can't complain about anything. I'm saying it sucks when all you do is complain.
Yeah.
And that's probably what my ex-girlfriends say. Sucks when all you do is complain. I feel like a character out of Seinfeld. All I do is complain.
Yeah. I get the feeling if you took a poll that'd probably be the same for me too.
From our ex-girlfriends?
Yeah. Yeah.
That all we do is complain?
There's a lot of whining, and that's why we've commoditized it and turned it into a show for you.
That's right. It's the One Complaint In podcast,
Yes.
but you know it's not only one. So a lot of people are upset that it's Sora and not, you know, Crash Bandicoot or
Doom Guy.
Or any other character that's not, I guess, technically a blade wielder. Because that's what
Okay.
people are kind of getting sick of, is having a bunch. Because for what it's worth, there are a lot.
ton. Yeah.
So I understand why people would be upset about that. But technically, it's a key. It's not a blade. It's a key blade. Okay?
I mean, that makes it both, doesn't it?
Yeah, but that makes it also half and half.
Sure. Okay.
So you can say it's 100% of both, or it's 50%. It's 50% a blade. So it's not really a blade. It's a key. It's a giant key that he bashes people with. How can that be a blade? He doesn't cut anybody open with it.
Could be sharp. I don't know.
It's not sharp. You ever played the game?
Long time ago.
Yeah.
Very long time ago.
Yeah. All he does is bash people open with it.
All right.
It's more like a bat than it is anything else. It's blunt force trauma.
Well, then why isn't it called a key bat?
That's good. That's a good question. It should be a key bat.
Mm-hmm.
A key
Key mace.
key key baton.
Yeah. Key baton.
Key baton.
It's a Pokemon. Key baton. Key baton.
Yeah, so people are upset because they're always going to be upset.
Sure.
And it's like, what are you going to do? You know, I will say that they have kind of the characters that they put, the DLC characters were a little, they left a little to be desired.
Speak for yourself. I got Joker.
Okay, fine.
And Terry Bogard.
Fine. Both of those characters, excellent. Let's just kind of let's go through the DLC characters now that there's a full list.
Sure.
The first one being Piranha Plant.
Mm-hmm.
I say I haven't checked the tier list in a while, so I don't know how good the character is actually doing in the game. But character-wise, 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
Piranha
it's
Plant's
great.
awesome to just have the Piranha Plant as a playable character.
And to start in that like goofy, irreverent of a space was perfect.
That's, we might have said it on the show, or maybe it was a conversation that you and I had personally, but one of my favorite aspects of Super Smash Bros. Is taking those silly things and, making a serious fighting game out of them. So, they're the masters of it. Now, it looks like Nickelodeon is...
Trying, kind of.
I'm not mad at it. I will say
that's a separate...
Yes,
we'll
talk
get into
about that.
Yeah,
we'll get into that.
Yeah.
You got Piranha Plant, then immediately you get Joker, which helps the Persona weirdo fans. Sorry, fans. Fans.
We're very sensitive.
Fans. Apparently.
Yeah.
I'm gonna full disclosure. I don't even know who Hero is.
I'm not familiar either. Who's Hero?
We're pulling up Hero.
Hero is DLC character number 72, and he comes from Dragon Quest.
The third character, the third DLC character.
Dragon Quest 6 in particular. So
sure, I don't know why they. I don't know.
We're not big.
Dragon Quest is a popular game, I guess. So
sure, yeah. I'm sure it was huge in Japan.
Yeah.
But yeah. Take it or leave it.
Anyway,
another sword wielder, right?
Immediately following that, you get Banjo and Kazooie.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Right back to 10
out of 10.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Banjo and Kazooie.
Especially considering the IP that they had to grab from Xbox.
Yeah, I would say that may be. I don't know. What do you think is more do you think was more difficult for Nintendo to secure, Banjo and Kazooie or Sora?
Probably Sora.
Yeah,
because there's not much red tape I would think you would have to have with Banjo and Kazooie because it's a game property. That's it. Whereas with Sora, it is sandwiched between Disney all around it. And they had to carve away at all the Disney elements, except for the Keyblade.
Right.
Like I said, the Keyblade charm.
Right. Can you imagine if Disney was just like, fuck it, do whatever you want? Can you imagine what his ultra move or his ultimate move was?
I gotta say, I was waiting and wishing for, Goofy and Donald to pop up.
Yeah. Because his ult move is a little lackluster.
Yeah.
Just kind of locks him in. And, anyway.
Right.
So you got Banjo and Kazooie. Then next, Terry from, I always forget the three letters of the game he's from.
Oh, it's Fatal Fury.
The Fatal Fury?
Mm-hmm.
What's the company that makes Fatal Fury?
Oh, well, now you've made me forget it.
I know.
I know what it is.
I know.
what it is.
Do you?
SNK.
SNK. Yeah.
Yep.
Terry, awesome.
Yep.
I'd say 8.5.
Sure.
Byleth.
It's Byleth.
Byleth?
Byleth. Uh-huh.
Byleth?
Yeah.
And they're from...
They are from...
Fire Emblem.
Fire Emblem 3 Houses.
Oh, yeah. This is when we get into the Fire Emblem characters. Where
oh, my God. Like, look at how many Fire Emblem characters there are.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. There's 8 Fire Emblem characters. 9, actually, if you consider...
Byleth 2 characters.
Byleth has 2 characters, which I guess they are...
Not technically. Not technically.
No?
No, it's just a skin. Male or female, I'm pretty sure.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But they are technically 2 characters. They're not 2 different 2 selectable characters.
Sure.
But they are 2 different skins.
Yeah.
Which I guess, okay.
But they
that
don't
would make those two different skins.
right.
too.
Steve and Alex are sorry.
You haven't got there yet.
Sorry, but I'm just saying when you get down here, it's literally two characters that are counted as two characters
Ah, yes.
based on how they play.
Okay.
Anyway.
who's Min Min?
Min Min is from the that weird springy arm boxing game.
What?
The
that game.
on Switch.
Yeah, okay,
It's one of the
yeah.
early Switch games.
Okay. Cool. Just click on it. We'll find.
I know. I'm trying to get our brains working.
Okay. I don't. Why? We're drinking beer and we're having a good time. It's the One Beer and Podcast.
Arms. It's called Arms.
That's right. That's so funny. We couldn't remember that. It's
Right.
just Arms.
Arms. Yep.
Then you get Steve/Alex from Minecraft, which was also another interesting thing that they were not as much red tape.
That's another Xbox grab, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think was kind of fascinating that they were able to do that. That they even wanted to do that. Who was clamoring for Steve?
I don't know. I mean, obviously that game's like one of the biggest of the generation.
Yeah, but not for what Steve was able to do, not for his abilities.
Sure.
Not even for Steve's. I would even venture to say that there's no real, I mean, I guess now because they've introduced like a narrative and like all these different like weird movies.
Oh, there's
like,
a full on like story mode within Minecraft, and then they have the Minecraft like game, like story, like narrative game outside of that too.
which I don't know, man. I find that so strange. It's like when they did the Sackboy game. And it's like that's not really what this was about, right?
That game's good though.
I mean, I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
Because the people who make Little Big Planet are incredible.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's a great game.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to play it.
It's really
Sackboy would have been fun to
Yeah.
have in here. Sackboy
Yeah.
would have been cool.
Yep.
Not any.
No
Well,
PlayStation
I guess
specific characters.
Sora's technically a place that's PlayStation exclusive.
But it's not involved with Sony.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it might as well be Square.
Oh, I mean, you could say the same thing about, for a long time, Snake. But
Absolutely, you could.
But that is
But
no
then-
longer the case.
yeah, but-
and same thing with all the Final Fantasy VII characters too. Sephiroth and
absolutely, you could.
Cloud.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they are.
Well,
What you don't consider them?
No, because you could. They're not like first-party developed games.
No, of course not. But they're like Sony. They're PlayStation exclusives.
But
or
I'm
at least
saying
they were for.
They don't have to consult.
They're not
with-
beholden to
Yeah,
Sony.
They don't have to consult with Sony to get those characters though.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sure.
They're related, but
Okay. Yeah. All right. Whatever, motherfucker. After Steve and Alex, you get Sephiroth.
Yeah.
Which is like, that's again, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
10 big ones, right?
Yep.
Then after that, what we were referring to, the two characters that are technically two characters, but they were introduced together. I don't know. This is when I kind of, after Steve, honestly, is when I fell off because I didn't even know Sephiroth was in the game.
Same with me. That's I think when the second DLC picks up. The second DLC pack is, I think it starts with Min Min, and I'm like, I don't care about Arms. I don't care about Steve. I care about Sephiroth, but
I do.
yeah, put him away.
That's right. Oh, you want me to holster these guns?
Conceal carry, please. But yeah, so we get into 79, 78, which are Pyra and Mithra, I think it is.
Not sure who they are. Kind of don't care at all.
I think they're from the Xenoblade game.
I just can't envision a universe in which I would use them. Unless they're S tier. Yeah, they are Xenoblade.
Yeah.
Unless
Xenoblade
they're
Chronicles
technically
too.
S tier characters that I should learn how to use, which I may be putting my foot in my mouth right now. I just can't imagine using them ever in the game. Ever.
I don't know. Yeah, I have zero interest because I know nothing about that franchise.
Yeah.
It doesn't pull me
There's
in.
no charm.
No.
There's no like, oh, this is fun. I get to use them and beat people up
They're
with
just
these
anime
characters.
sci-fi girls.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if you're a big fan. I mean, I'm sure the game itself's good, but I don't know. Not into it.
Just enough. I'm just enough. Okay, enough with the fucking enough. You fucking perverts. Sorry.
Who said anything about perverts?
Sorry. It just always strikes me as like a little weird.
Yeah, a little bit. Any Hooser.
Kazuya.
Kazuya. Number 81.
Yeah, the bad dad of Tekken.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was interesting that they would use him and not
Kazuma
Yeah,
or Heihachi. Heihachi's been in other adjacent fighting games.
I think. Yeah, he has.
Yeah.
So it's funny that they wouldn't use them. That they would use Kazuya.
Yeah. Interesting.
Great character. I'd go 9.5 because I just find it really. No, I'm gonna go 9.
I would say
because,
9.
Yeah, we've already got enough guys like him where we're like, okay, do we need another guy like that? I mean, I always looked at some of the Tekken characters as like. I always looked at Tekken as a pseudo parody of fighting games in the vein of like Dead or Alive, where they have fun with the characters. They're also legitimate fighting games, and they're great on their own.
But you can be a bear.
But you can be a bear.
Or wood.
Or a professional wrestler who may be half leopard.
Yeah.
I'm still not sure. The
King?
jury's out if he's actually a leopard or not.
Are you talking about King?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So I always
guy.
thought that was fun. But I also thought like some of their main characters were like parodies of like Street Fighter and SNK characters where they were just kind of like fucking with people a little bit.
Well, yeah, because
having fun with it.
Tekken came out after the 2D fighters.
Yeah.
It was like one of the early 3D post Virtual Fighter games.
Yeah, and we know that like I forgot what the character's name is, but he's definitely Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
And then there's another character that's like definitely Jackie Chan.
Uh-huh.
And
yeah, the drunken fighter.
Yeah, and they just kind of have fun with it, which is cool. That's obviously the charm of Tekken. And then there's a fucking zombie, the fucking samurai zombie. Like,
oh yeah,
come on, you know,
he was my favorite.
Yeah, he was great.
He had a laser blade.
Yeah, and you could use a move.
Yoshimitsu, right?
Yeah, and he would jump and then fucking spin on the blade
and hop on the blade. You can get him to hop on the blade.
Come on, man.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So, all that being said, it's interesting that they would pick him because we already got Ryu and Ken and Terry. It's like, do we need Kazuya? You know?
Probably not. But, I mean, for everyone complaining that there are too many blade-wielding characters, there you go.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
You got another fisticuffs guy.
So, and then obviously we get to Sora as the last character. So, what I pull from this is there's absolutely way more room for more goofy characters. And they spent too much time on these little anime weirdos.
Yeah.
We didn't need Hero, and we didn't need Min. I take that back. Min, I can understand that because when the Switch came out, ARMS was like a huge game because it was like the only game.
Yeah, one of the early ones.
Sephiroth, I understand. Blythe, Blimeth, the Blimeth Prowler.
Yeah.
I just don't understand that. I don't understand Pyra, Mithra, Hero. Those three I just don't get. I say keep Min. I say keep the rest of them. I say keep Joker because I know that Persona 5 is a big game.
Yeah.
And I know that Joker's a pretty popular character. Although, you know, I don't get it, but I get it.
You never tried.
Well,
you never tried to get it.
Listen, we were talking about this game at work, and apparently it's a game that I tried to push out of my memory, wherein you basically just flirt with your teachers and you have anime fights and stuff.
What?
Right?
What?
Right? Don't you hook up with people in the game? Can't you? Can't you hook up with people in the game?
There is. Hold on.
There is like a dating aspect of the game.
Wait. So, there is a dating sim element to the game.
Okay.
Yes, there is.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So it's not, it's not weird of me to say. That's like kind of, this is a little weird, right?
Look, let me break it down for you, okay?
Please.
This is Persona 5 Corner.
Please.
Strap in. Persona 5 is, thus far, I'm playing it still because it's a game that will last you. It'll last you a while. Persona 5 Royal, that's what I'm playing.
It'll do you, boy. It'll do you.
It'll do you for. So, here's the deal, bud. In Persona 5, it is a traditional Japanese RPG, right? You go into dungeons, you fight the things that pop up. Fortunately, in this game, it's not where you're just walking around and suddenly like a Pokemon pops out of nowhere just because you're walking around too much.
Right.
You see them, they bump into you.
Or rather, unfortunately.
And then you fight them. Okay.
Okay.
So, That's an element of it. Now, there is a Pokemon element to it where you can collect these monsters that you fight, okay?
Uh-huh.
All of these monsters are connected to a specific type of persona, okay?
Okay.
You following?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
So far.
Think of them as elements if you want to break it down.
Okay.
Okay. So,
They're not pocket monsters.
They're not.
Elemental
they're
monsters.
not Pokemon. They are Mon. They're not
They're
Pokemon.
yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, you have the power to control them as a persona wielder. Anyway, outside of that dungeon, dark world, there's another world. A candy-coated topic in which you go to school and you hang out with your friends. And yes, you can go on dates if you so choose. But the main idea is you choose what activity you do, and that impacts how good you are in the dungeon world. Okay?
Okay.
So you can be a nerd and study all the time, and your knowledge goes up, and that makes you better at certain things.
Okay.
Or you could go on a date with someone who has the same element, we'll call it, as your persona, and that'll make your bond stronger with that
Okay.
persona and make that persona stronger.
Okay.
Or you can play pool, and you'll be more precise because you're getting these skills.
Okay.
All right? So that's where that lays in. It's not just to date anime girls, okay? That's all I'm trying to say.
Right.
That's
It's
all I'm
not
trying to say.
just to date anime
No.
girls. But I'd like it... Your Honor, I would like, for the record...
Point of personal privilege.
You can date anime girls,
You can.
right?
You don't have to.
Your Honor, the defendant has admitted that you can date anime girls in this game.
Yes.
If you so choose.
Sure.
If that is your persuasion, if you will.
Yeah.
All right. I want that on the record, Your Honor.
Is that not in the Constitution?
It's in the Constitution.
Uh-huh.
Respectfully,
Mm-hmm.
I just want to make sure that everyone in the courtroom is aware
Uh-huh.
that is a possibility in this game.
It's a possibility. It's
All
definitely
right.
a possibility. Yeah.
Just
You
want
can
to
do
make
that.
sure.
You can do that.
Okay.
You don't have to. You can hang out with your friend. You can just be a best
Right.
bud
Do
with
you
someone.
get to fuck Joker?
You are Joker. What are you talking about?
No, yeah, sure. But,
Can you go fuck yourself is what you're saying? Sure.
wait, he's the playable character?
Yes.
What if you don't choose him? Do you get to fuck him later?
You can't not choose him. He is who you are.
Oh.
And he
I thought there was multiple characters that you could pick.
no.
Joker's the main character
Joker's the main
of Persona
character.
5.
Yeah. All of the Persona games have a main protagonist that you are.
Right. I understood
Yeah.
that. Color me ignorant.
Well, ignorant. Yeah. I mean, it's a fantastic game. Perfect game.
Hey, I mean, that's what they say.
I would play it forever and ever.
I'm sure you would. You nerd.
You guys were talking about it at work, though?
Yes, because there's a regular who comes in who's a huge Persona guy, and
My man.
As soon as he brought it up, my ears perked up, and I was like, "Man, I wish Adam was here. He'd be all over this."
Yeah.
Because we were just talking about some of the other like Doom. I'm sorry, not Doom. Diablo 2. They
Sure,
just
just
remastered
came, yeah.
that. And what else were we talking about? Steve let me borrow Skyrim.
Okay.
So I mean, obviously I don't know, a decade and a half late to that party.
I never realized you missed Skyrim.
Just wasn't not that I never wanted to play it. It was just a game that like when it came out, I just was playing other shit, and then like it just fell under the radar, and then I never wanted to talk about it because I'd be embarrassed about the fact that I never played it.
Well,
and now I'm admitting it here today.
Did you have an Xbox?
I had a 360.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was like notoriously bad on PS3. So if you only had a PS3, yeah.
No,
understandable.
it's funny. I did the thing that a lot of people did, which was PS1, PS2, Xbox 360, PS4.
Okay.
There's a lot of people. I realize this when I talk to other people and when I see it online. A lot of people did this.
Mm-hmm.
Where, I mean, obviously there was some people. Like I had a PS3 and an Xbox 360, but the PS3 was in the living room. It was kind of like the family console.
Right.
But I, with my own money, bought the Xbox 360, and all those were that was my profile. That was my console, right?
Right.
And so apparently a lot of people did this, where they did the PS2, and then for some reason there was a bunch of us who were like, and then
Yeah.
jumped to the Xbox,
And
and then PS4 comes out, and we were like, I'm not getting whatever that shit is, the series, whatever, or the one, or whatever you were trying to call it. I'm jumping back over to PS4.
Yeah, no, that's I think that was the popularity trail, basically.
Yes.
A few weirdos had the GameCube.
Yeah, yeah. Who fucking hung their hat on the GameCube? I understand having one, but to like die on the hill,
Oh no, yeah. I mean, look,
that cumbersome, uncomfortable.
In retrospect, awesome console, great games on it, lots of exclusives. But at the time, I had one for about a month.
Yeah.
And then I said, this sucks. And I traded it in.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I'm not, like, I played Resident Evil 4 and
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. That's all I got. And I don't think I even got Smash. I don't think I did.
Well, I mean, obviously you missed the best in the series.
Sure.
Melee is,
Of course.
you know,
Yeah.
the
I
goat.
mean, I obviously
Melee's goated.
played it since, but
Yes.
yeah. I turned into an Xbox kid at that point.
Yeah.
Got the OG Xbox, and then Halo changed my life.
Right.
And
Halo took your virginity.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
But then I came crawling back for PS4. I mean, I had a PS3 too.
As one does.
But it took a while because PS3 was way too expensive when it first came out.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people remember that.
No, they don't. No, they don't. They like to have this revisionist history that PlayStation has always been consumer friendly. Where in fact, PlayStation, or Sony rather, has never been consumer friendly. And in fact, is still not consumer friendly.
Continues to not be. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why we all collectively are like, please treat us well. It's like it's like returning to an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
Trigger warning. It sucks.
Yeah.
And you can't escape. And you feel trapped and beholden to this person for some reason. You don't know why.
Are you turning into Walken right now? Is this Christopher Walken?
You feel
You're beholden
to this person. I don't know why. It's terrible.
Trigger warning.
Trigger warning. You can you, and then you I'll say this.
Okay.
Things have kind of turned up a little bit at my job, so I've got a little bit of money kind of stashed.
Right.
And I'm now back on the serious prowl to nab one before the holiday season,
Good.
which is probably going to be impossible, I know.
You don't know that though.
Yeah.
I feel like every other week there's a drop.
Yes, you're right. And I feel like I've gotten a little lazy because I've been so angry and
Disheartened.
disappointed, and
Yeah.
disheartened is the best word.
Yeah.
And now
Understandable.
I have a little bit of money, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go hard.
Can
Go hard.
can I convince you to get one with a disk drive?
You can try.
Cause
What's-
it's worth it?
What can you tell me? What can you say? Because all right, let me say this
Okay.
before you.
All right.
Let me just tell you this thing, and then you
All
can.
right. Yep.
Last night I was playing Warzone,
Okay.
and the game froze on me,
Yeah.
and then I couldn't even turn the PlayStation off through any of the usual means.
Right. So you
I had to literally unplug it. Then
Yeah. Those are fun times.
Then I had to reset it, and then the PlayStation, Sony, knowing that this is a possibility, installed a failsafe into the PlayStation, wherein you take a tiny glasses screwdriver, and you can twist the disc out when it gets stuck in there. And I've had to do that multiple times.
Okay.
Makes me angry every time. Makes
Sure.
me want to break the disc and the PlayStation.
Yep.
So that's my reality.
Sure. Okay.
And I would like to never do that ever again.
Yeah.
And I don't want to spend $500 and then have to do that.
Okay.
Now it's your turn.
Sure. We need a stick to pass.
Yeah.
Okay, so as hard as that experience was for you, and I apologize on behalf of all disk drives, let me present a fact that you may have overlooked, okay?
Please. I overlook all facts.
Your PlayStation 4 is very old.
That's true.
Your PS5 would be brand new.
Okay.
So you wouldn't have to deal with this until, let's say, at least 5 to 6 years in the future. So that's a problem,
Right.
as they say, for another day. Not something you have to worry about right now.
Yeah.
First thing. Secondly, you can still download games.
Okay.
The disk drive does not mean only disk games. So you can still download whatever you want to keep for safeties, and then just get the discs that are on sale. Okay?
Okay.
Thirdly, and I think most importantly, discs mean family. Because if you got a disc, you can share it.
Now we're getting
You
to,
see?
Uh-huh.
So that means my games are your games. And your games are my games. Fourth and final is it's an investment.
Right.
Okay?
Uh-huh.
It's only $100 more, right?
Yeah.
Than the discless.
Yeah.
And it gets you technologically ready for when you get a 4K TV. Because then you'll be able to watch all of the Nolan movies you'll want in eyeball-shattering 4K. Without having to worry about buffering and jittering and all this crap that you have to deal with without a stable connection. You see,
Yeah.
and you'll have multiple people in your living quarters, and that's going to be a problem. That's all I'm saying. So I think the only logical thing, if you're going to go in on a new console, is to get one that has it all. If you're saying to yourself, okay, but it only has a 500 gigabyte hard drive.
Yeah.
Well, my friend, they just added an update that lets you put in as big of a hard drive as you want.
Oh, external?
Internal.
Really?
There's already external hard drive support.
Wow.
So
Okay.
you can buy yourself, you can save up for this too. SSD, a 1 terabyte SSD.
Yeah.
So you get games instantaneously and have all the room in the world. Along with being able to share games with your friends. I rest my case.
Compelling argument, Your Honor. Compelling argument indeed.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, okay. That gives me something to think about. Sure. Sure.
Just think on it.
I guess my only rebuttal to that is my frustration with physical discs. They're the space that they take up.
Sure.
They're
Boxes.
They're cumbersome.
Sure.
At the and the biggest thing really is game companies' hesitancy or residency to invest in physical games. It feels like as an industry, a lot of these publishers rather are taking a step back to even caring about physical copies of their games.
Yeah,
right?
They absolutely don't. Yeah.
They don't give a shit.
Mhm.
Like, plain and simple, they just don't give a shit.
You could
like
get like a steel book or something, but it doesn't really matter.
exactly who the last game to really give a shit, or the last publisher to really give a shit. Rockstar.
Oh yeah, sure.
They're the last ones to actually give a fuck about.
But I feel like there's always that level of, if you get like the super ultra edition of anything, it's gonna come with a lot of stuff too.
No, their standard edition at least comes with like the map, right? Comes
Yes.
with the map
See,
and the book.
The reason I didn't think about that is because it was like 10 years ago.
Right.
So
That's true. That's true. Yes.
that's why. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's true. Their last one came with. But do you think that GTA 6 is gonna come with the same paraphernalia?
I hope that it does, because GTA 5, the things that they included in the literal physical copies of the disc added to the experience.
Yeah.
the actual map itself
Sure.
was a thing that people were exploring.
Which they've included from GTA 3.
Right. So you've got all these Easter eggs. You've got these things where like you have to literally look, you have to actually look at a map while you're playing the game. Now, I will say it's 2021. By the time GTA 6 comes out, it'll be 2025, 2026.
Yeah.
At that point, will we want to be playing a game and looking at a map at the same time? I don't know.
It's a cool poster too.
It is also a cool poster. So that would be fun.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You make a compelling argument. It is only $100 more. God, if I get one disc stuck in that drive, I'm coming to your house and I'm gonna slice your throat with it.
I'm willing to take those odds. I trust that Sony manufacturing with my life.
You better. You literally are.
Hasn't failed me yet.
All right. Well, we'll see what's even available because I'm talking all this hypothetical as if the fucking PlayStations are falling out of the sky, and I still have to fight for one anyway.
You just gotta get lucky.
Honestly, I would rather fight for one. I would rather physically fight for one.
Yeah.
I'm being dead honest with you.
Uh-huh.
I truly would rather physically fight for one.
Yeah.
Than deal with what we're dealing with right
Sure.
now. If you
Yeah.
told me that's yours, all you got to do is beat that guy up. I'd like, all right, I'll take the chance.
It is less frustrating. I guarantee it.
Damn right.
Because if you lose, you're like, yeah, he won. Yeah, what can I say?
He deserved it. He beat my ass.
Yes.
He obviously wanted it more than I did.
He's a better man than me. Earned it.
Earned it.
Yeah.
Earned it.
Right.
So, we'll see.
Okay.
Because we still, like I said,
We'll revisit this when you actually get one.
When
Okay.
Right. Exactly. All right. To all the kids who have a Nintendo Switch and you get to play the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, you have all the characters. You've been enjoying yourself this whole time. Don't need any DLC characters to enjoy the game, but you have them. It's just adding on to your experience. If you want to leave a comment and tell us how Sora fights, what tier you would put him in immediately, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Love to hear it.
Also, who is your favorite Smash character?
Ooh, who's your main?
Who do you main?
And then who's your second? And then who's your like random like, oh, I'm fucking around. I know I can beat the shit out of this guy.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna play as Kirby or
your troll character.
your troll character.
Yeah.
All right. Beforehand, we were talking about playlists, right?
Yeah.
Let's knock this jammy out real quick.
Okay.
So I feel like there's something to say about this,
Okay.
and then we'll get to Squid Games, and then we'll get the fuck out,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
There's this like, well, there's this thing on Twitter where people usually will go viral with kind of just stating the obvious, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just saying things that people are like, oh man, can you imagine like not breathing air? And everyone's like, yo, I couldn't imagine that. And it gets like 125,000 likes.
Yeah. Quick aside,
Please.
I was just talking to you about, by the way, we have a TikTok. If you guys don't know, if you're on TikTok, check out @OneBeerIn. However, we were talking about it, and that is an absolute cesspool of that exact thing.
Yeah.
It's just like some teenager going like, yeah, you know, I really like grilled cheese. And then it like gets 8 million likes. It's incredible.
Yeah.
And I can't help but think it's just like high school boys just going, I like that. I like that a lot.
Well, you know what we need to do is let my niece run the page.
I would love to. Honestly, I need some insight because I'm going in blind. I'm trying my very best as an old man.
Yeah.
But it's a whole new world. It's a whole new world.
I'm gonna sit down with her and she's gonna explain to me all the trends, all the, oh no, I hope I don't fall, and then we just like smash beer on the ground instead of like new outfits and stuff. Like we're gonna get into the trend.
Yeah.
2 30-somethings are just like, oh no, I hope I don't fall again. Yeah, so that's exciting. Can't wait to see that because I see it enough on Twitter, so I can't wait to log in and,
You're gonna
take a
rage.
look at that. But one of those meme-y kind of Mimi, look at me, I'm super relatable tweets that I saw. One of them was just like the idea of, does anybody else just listen to the same playlist over and over again, or listen to the same albums over and over and over again? And I couldn't believe how many people were like, totally, man. That's that's my life. I'm just, I pick some things that I like. Excuse me. I apologize.
Jesus
Christ.
Christ.
It hit me in the throat, and I wasn't ready for it.
You can't do that in 2021.
I'm sorry. Okay,
right.
I'm sorry.
All right, continue.
Couldn't believe how many people immediately were like, "Yeah, that's totally my life. I do that all the time."
Yeah,
I am just. I get tired of. I get tired of my Tuesday updated playlist from Apple Music.
Mm-hmm.
Apple Music, if you don't have it,
weirdo.
I know. I feel my hatred for Spotify as a company has prevented me from enjoying Spotify as a thing.
Yeah.
Because every time I go on there, I'm like, man, if I was somebody who just wanted to put a thing together for others to enjoy, or if I just wanted to like discover new music, Spotify is the best for that.
Sure. We could have a one beer and playlist.
We still can. We can do that.
I can do that.
You can do that.
You can't do that.
I can't do that. I can add to it, or I can send you my ideas and you can add to
I'll
it.
throw it in the garbage. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a little aggressive. If you have Apple Music, they have this thing where every Tuesday it updates based on your taste. And I will say, for the record, that it just kind of, maybe I'm not listening to enough artists, but I kind of feel like I listen to a new album. I try to find a new album at least once a week, an album that I haven't listened to ever in my life.
Right.
And it just kind of has, what it'll do is it'll be front loaded with Your Old Droog, a bunch of Griselda artists, Action Bronson.
Yeah.
And then at the end, it'll start hitting me with like, okay, here's some Frank Ocean, here's some Luther Vandross, here's some, here's Title Fight. Oh, you started listening to
You
Title
like that?
Fight.
You sick?
Yeah. here's Girls, the band. Yeah, I didn't even know you were fucking into them. Here's that. Oh, here's some Parquet Courts. We know you liked them back a couple years ago. You still fucking listening to Parquet Courts? Yeah, you are. Here you go.
Yep.
And that's towards the end. But for them, even that, in 1 week, I'm like, over it.
Yeah. I mean, I find the same thing with Spotify. I'm joking about the Spotify, superiority complex, because it's kind of all the same. It's just that more people are on Spotify. That's why I use it essentially.
Yeah.
Peer pressure.
I say it's more user friendly as far as sharing with people, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I obviously wouldn't know comparatively of like the UI myself, but yeah, I come across the same thing as where like I hate when I have like, let's say I'm working and I just want to put on a playlist to zone out to and focus. I'll listen to like lo-fi beats, using air quotes, or a movie soundtrack or something.
Yeah,
which I know you make fun of.
I just don't know how you do it.
It's great. It's great music. It's great
It just
music.
makes me want to watch the movie.
Or I'll listen to some classical or whatever.
Ugh.
Classical music is great. Classical music is great.
Ugh.
Anyway.
All right.
Yeah.
God.
No taste.
Wow.
Anywho. My point is, I will do that, but that's not what I want to listen to all the time. So if I get into like a mood to listen to that stuff, it's going to serve me that stuff later on when I'm like, I am in my car. I don't want to listen to cello right now.
Yes.
And it's like, I don't know how to communicate that to, the algorithm to make it smarter, to be like, oh, you're, it's Friday night and you're driving at 8:00. You're not going to want to listen to your lo-fi beats playlist. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure there's stuff like that involved in the machinery of it all, but it hasn't really worked out for me. So that's kind of annoying.
Yeah. Everyone, this keyword of algorithm or algorithm.
Albert G. Rhythm.
It's really funny. My dad, he watches Fox News. Sorry.
Sure.
And today was on in the living room, and they had some lady on from Facebook because I don't know if you guys are aware, but they had I don't know what you would call a data breach or whatever the fuck they call it.
They may not have our best interest.
Yeah, yeah. So there's that. So again, I don't know why you would even still have a Facebook, Instagram in the same boat.
I guess. I mean, we have fans in there.
Yeah, that's my problem. It's like that's probably my biggest fan base is Instagram. It's pretty bad. Somebody tweeted that like this is the reason why you need to have a domain name, because you never know when this shit is gonna happen and what happens then.
Sure.
If we lose all of social media, do you lose all your fans now?
Yeah.
Not me. MarcoDupa.com.
Right.
But
working on that for the podcast.
We will have that. We will have that up.
Priority.
So everyone's always talking about the algorithm, and they had this lady on from Instagram. She was talking about the algorithm, or rather they were asking her about it. Mm-hmm. And they sounded so ignorant. It sounded like they had no idea. It sounded like they had seen that word or they heard that word in conversation, which is what most of us have seen or heard. Yeah. Which is the algorithm, and have no idea what that actually means. Mm-hmm. They just know that the algorithm controls your experience. In the most layman of terms, the algorithm controls your experience. And so they were asking this lady, okay, so...
Can you delete the Finsta?
Exactly. Just this most... They were just like, so are you going to... is Facebook going to be transparent about how they decide what the algorithm does?
No.
And they were like... And she was like, she's like, I'm not an engineer, so I can't give you the details of all that stuff, but I can tell you that blah, 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 so on and so forth. Basically,
it's fueled on blood and rage.
Yeah, yeah. And I would just like to say, for the record, I believe the whistleblower. I don't believe a word out of this lady's mouth, and I don't believe a word out of the cyborg's mouth, Mark Zuckerberg. So, but my point being, it's funny that we all are so reliant and so quick to blame the algorithm. And it's just such this really, it's still really like this primitive idea and device that these social medias use. Well, and it's not our fault. It's their fault.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like they've kind of ruined our experience by trying to make our experience better. I feel like they've ruined it. Yeah. And I think that that's the same thing for like, in two parts, you rely on the algorithm first from Spotify, for instance, to know that today's Friday, I'm getting off of work. Why the fuck would I want to listen to Yo-Yo Ma? Right?
And it does do that to its credit. I'm not saying that it always serves me the wrong thing. It does sometimes say like, okay, here is a popular playlist most users like to listen to on Fridays. Yeah. And it'll be like a party playlist. Yeah. I'm like, okay. I mean, that's something at least. It's knowledgeable enough to be like, okay, it's Friday evening or it's, Wednesday morning, and it'll give me like coffee house tunes. And I'm like, okay, like that's something, I suppose, but it's not.
All of your playlists on Friday just start with, this is how you do it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But, like it doesn't get quite specific enough for me to be like, wow, that is both introducing me to new things and also giving me the stuff I like when I like it. Right. Which is what I think the dream of the algorithm is.
For sure. That's definitely the idea behind it. That it seems like that's what these engineers are trying to get it to do. And what, in my opinion, though, I think that that's impossible. I think human beings and their tastes are so varied and so weird and so unpredictable.
Some people. Okay, sure. Because this entire topic was spawned off of people listening to the same stuff over and over and over again.
Yeah, you know what? You're absolutely right.
So I think that algorithm, that kind of, rudimentary surface level algorithm may work for most people. But for people who really care and really are like kind of, like searchers of new music, it may not be quite enough. We have to do a bit more manual labor to, kind of poke and prod into new stuff.
Yeah. And you know what? Maybe that's the reason why that it's set up the way that it is. It's like, look, most of the people that use this service are going to use it the way that we've already decided that they are using it. So why the fuck would we update or change anything? What, to appease you fucking hipsters who want to like listen to the new fucking, Rush record? Like, fuck you.
Well, and it's fine. It's fine because I still use the platform clearly.
Yeah. I meant Lush, not Rush.
I was gonna say a new Rush record.
No new Rush record. I meant Lush.
Interesting.
I don't think there's a new Lush record either, but I think it's like weird enough that they're like, who's Lush?
Obscure enough, yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't just make that up.
I didn't make that up. Okay. Lush is a band.
Yeah, I know. I know. But yeah, no, I think that's exactly right because I still use it. The thing is, like, I have a certain level of frustration sometimes where I'm like, I've heard this song enough, and they keep serving it to me.
Yeah,
and it's like, you're now making me hate it. This has become the radio all over again.
Yeah,
where it's like, you are now oversharing a more obscure song that I really liked to the point where I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
So
I'll get sometimes on mine on Apple Music. Sometimes they'll be like, "Do you want to listen to this West Side Gun album?" And it's like, "Hey man, I listened to that 2 days ago. Why are you suggesting that to me?
Yeah,
I just listened to it. What's happening?" They're like, "No. How about you listen to it now though?
Try it again.
Yeah,
maybe
listen to it again.
Yeah,
yeah. It's a flawed system.
It is,
and the way that it learns and gets better is by the information that we feed to it. And then you get back to people being resident to feed that information to the program because everybody's afraid of the algorithm because they don't understand it.
Right.
And so here we are.
The algorithm is a lot
rhythm.
The Albert G rhythm is very, very similar to how a lot of people think of like SEO, search engine optimization. It's like it's internet magic because you don't know exactly how it works. You have some good guesses, but it's like you kind of do your best and see what the internet gods have in store for you.
I would argue though that only people who are in the industry or in an industry rather, or people like yourself and myself even give a shit what SEO is and what it means. Most people just chalk that up to the algorithm.
Sure.
Because that's the keyword that they've heard and that's all they care about.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so it is an element of like the algorithm, I guess you can consider it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. At the end of the day, it just this is where we're going, Sure. And these streaming giants, I guess the only thing that I can say is it's nice that they have pretty much every fucking album in existence.
Sure. Yeah. I'm not saying this stuff to say that I don't absolutely appreciate Spotify.
Fuck Spotify, but sure.
I don't appreciate the music, the plethora of music that Spotify puts in my lap every day, you know?
Right.
I don't appreciate Spotify for what it does to artists, but I appreciate how much it can expose me to.
Yeah.
Now, on the other hand, do I mind looking a little bit harder for new music? A little bit, but not really, because that's part of the fun to me still.
Yeah.
But I guarantee somebody who's maybe 10 years younger than us, that barrier to entry is going to be enough to turn them off where they stop looking.
Yeah.
So I think ultimately the algorithm is going to continue to work for people younger and younger and younger to expose them to more and more and more, which is ultimately a good thing.
Not really going to expose them though, right? All they're going to do is show them the thing that they're showing everybody else because they've already learned that everybody else is listening to the thing.
Hopefully it's good enough that it can decipher, okay, you like Biggie, so I'm going to throw in an Isley Brothers song that samples that is sampled from this Biggie track.
Yeah.
And expose you then to, like more 70s soul. And then, if you like that song, okay, I'm going to open up the umbrella to all these other things too, and all these other influences. And then, you got yourself a stew there,
You got a lot of confidence in that stew.
I don't. I'm being optimistic though.
Yeah. Optimism.
I'm trying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, well.
Trying harder than the algorithm.
We'll see. Yeah. That's for damn sure. That's for damn sure.
Uh-huh.
All right. You want to talk about Squid Games, or should we get out of here? We're at an hour.
Well, you brought it up, so I feel like we have to. We can't leave the people hanging.
Okay.
On the
sure.
Squid Games.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. So, excuse me. The Korean smash hit Squid Games.
Nope.
Squid Games.
Nope.
Squid's Games. Squid Game.
Yes.
Squid Game
Nailed it.
has taken the world by storm.
Mm-hmm.
It is a massive success
Yes.
for Netflix. It is a massive success for the writer, who apparently his story has gone viral because he shopped this
For like 10 years, right?
and was turned down by every studio in existence,
Yeah.
and then finally got this thing off the ground, and now it's a smash hit,
Mm-hmm.
which is fun. Somebody said, this is supposed to be a story of like resilience.
Another
and
tweet I liked.
persistence. Yeah, so that's probably you. But in actuality, it just kind of shows you like the soul crushing, like the entertainment industry is just this disgusting like mill that just pumps out the same shit over and over and over again.
Yeah, it grinds creative down.
Yeah. And this guy shopped this, what is apparently a brilliant story.
Yeah.
Or at least entertaining enough to take the world by storm.
I brought it up as my cheers of the week.
You cheersed it. That's right.
I was able to finish it, and it's awesome. It's incredible. I won't spoil anything.
Please don't.
Yeah.
And this guy shopped it for 10 years before somebody was like, sure, we'll make a show out of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and, I'm going to say it.
Okay.
This is that meme of that kid turning around. I'm going to say it.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to say it.
Uh-huh.
Part of the reason that it got picked up was because it's a Korean show.
Okay.
I'm saying that not to say that he's got some kind of Korean bias or like...
Who has a Korean bias?
Or I say Netflix.
Is Netflix a he?
Yeah, Netflix is a he. You think Netflix is a woman?
Da-dong!
Fuck no.
Uh-huh.
What I'm saying is these companies are now jumping on this boat of making Asian-driven content. All these companies are starting to do that. Okay. I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
Sure.
What I'm saying is...
The door's now open, though.
Yes.
To more Asian creatives.
Right. And that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. And I love to see it. What I'm saying is like they're jumping on this. What I'm trying to get across is do not give any credit to these fucking entities and these corporations.
Oh, to Netflix. Yeah.
To Netflix. Don't give any fucking credit to Netflix. All they did was jump on the train. That's it.
Sure.
Give all the credit to the creative people who make these things. To the
Parasite.
Stuff like that where it's like those things are getting their just due when they should have got it 10, 15, 20 years ago. They're getting them now.
Korean cinema's been incredible for decades.
Exactly. And now they're getting their just due because it's in vogue to make this kind of content.
It's safe and profitable.
Yes. Before, it was risky, and they were like, no fucking way.
Americans don't want to read.
Right.
Yeah.
Now we're at a point where... timely. Now we're at a point where it's okay, it's fun, people are into it, and now these companies are like, sure, I'll make...
They're interested in it.
We'll give a couple $1 million to a Korean movie. So... I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. In fact, I'm saying the opposite. It's a great thing. But don't give any credit to these fucking companies that are only hopping on the trends.
Because it's safe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because they didn't take the risks when they could have.
Yeah. No, I agree.
They're making making a safe decision.
The show could have been made 10 years ago.
Yes. I mean, apparently he had the idea 10 years ago.
Right.
So
we could be watching Squid Game 2.
Right. So Squid Game comes out. It's a smash hit. Everybody watches it. But apparently, we're actually not watching it in the way that we should be watching it, right?
Not understanding the story in the way that we should.
And apparently we're missing large portions of character development, ideas, story development,
Yeah.
because of the way that these shows get translated. So this person who has since gone viral was like,
On
man,
TikTok.
it's fucking TikTok.
Yep.
This person, they were like, I just want you guys to know I'm half Korean, but I speak it fluently enough to understand it when it's spoken. And from what I've seen, there are large portions of the show that are either being mistranslated or not translated at all. And as Americans who are reading the subtitles, we're not getting the story as it's being presented from the writers.
Right.
And then she goes on to post examples of what she's talking about. And they're like these little things where a character will say a certain thing and you look at the translation or the subtitles rather, and they just kind of cut out some stuff. And what these translators seem to be missing is the cultural importance of what these characters are saying,
right,
and how they're saying the thing.
And
not just what they're saying, but how they're saying it.
Yeah, the context is missing.
Yeah.
And, I feel like a lot of that has to do with just, obviously, we can only speak for us as Americans. Us not having that, the cultural context to kind of put the dots together. But yeah, I mean, a lot of it is from what I've seen, at least within the translation, that dumbs it down to a level that, I mean, I feel like they kind of played us dirty in a way, They just assumed that we couldn't get context or research a little bit into why is this theme so prevalent.
Yeah. Or just too lazy to read into what is being said. Not just literally read it, but read into the themes that are being presented to us.
Yeah, and apparently the one character in particular has done the worst. We can't talk about it without getting into details of the show, so we won't do that. But yeah, I know. I think that there is it's really undervalued, the quality of translation.
Yeah.
In any media, from anime to video games to anything that has cultural importance. That, I mean, even look back at I think it was in Pokemon, where they were calling the what was it, the rice cakes? They were calling them donuts.
Yes. And I always thought they were donuts.
For the longest time, I'm like, I guess in Japan, donuts look like that.
Yeah. I thought they were super sweet.
If they could have just said, these are whatever it is in Japanese, and I could look that up at some point,
Yeah.
or whatever that is, or not even that, just say rice cakes.
Yeah.
Or translate it into something that is more digestible, and we'll understand.
Yeah.
Give us a shot at least.
For years, I thought that those things were just. I thought the black thing was how you held it, and the white thing was basically like a
powdered donut.
Yeah. And I was like, rice? Is that what it is?
Right.
It seems like it looks like rice, but they're calling them donuts. So they're not. They can't be. They got to be sweet, right?
Right. And I feel like in this day and age, we have to start allowing our consumers of content a bit more respect than that.
Yeah.
Even if they get lost in the process, it's worth it to expand their knowledge about whatever culture you're trying to represent.
Yeah.
So try. I think this is a perfect case for doing that moving forward.
I think again, it's another thing of now that it's safe and fun and digestible for American media, that the translations will get better. But I think that we've been slow to catch up on those things because these companies are Americans do not give a shit about the context in which these things are being said. All they care about is being able to make sense of what they're watching so that they can fly through it and that they can talk about it in a week or so,
right,
or in a couple days, so that I can run through Squid Game in 2 or 3 days, and then when I get to work on Monday, we can all talk about, man, did you see that fucking show?
Right.
And Netflix, I think, is assuming a lot about their consumer base in that they don't care about shit like that. And I think a lot of people would disagree. Like, they want the context. They want to understand the show. They want to understand the characters. They want to understand cultures outside of their own.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard to do so when you've got a fucking entity like Netflix going, don't worry about that.
It's fine. They won't get it anyway.
Yeah, I don't need to understand that. Listen.
Yeah.
It's fine. All you need to know is they said this, that, and the other thing, and the show can move on, right? Now let's get to episode 5.
Yeah.
That's all they care about.
Well, and I'm sure it's a cost-cutting thing, too, because it was subtitled apparently in 31 languages and then dubbed in 13. So,
well, apparently, according to this person, the subtitle industry is one in which the subtitler gets zero respect.
Of course.
And they're just throwing a bunch of content to translate over and over and over again. And so part of the problem is not just that Netflix doesn't give a shit, but that it's like, it's hard for the person who's translating this. It's like, am I going to give this person the full context of what's being said, or am I going to give them these spark notes so that I can get this off my table and move on to the next thing?
Or, you know, maybe they don't even have that context. Maybe that's a context that's only unveiled later on in the series, and you're like, oh, it was meant like this as opposed to like that.
Right, and how are they supposed to know? They didn't write it.
Right, and that's the thing is, like, in a perfect world, the creator and the writer would be sitting down with the translator and go and approve, okay, yes, that's what I meant. Mm-hmm. Or no, that's not what I meant.
Right.
But, you know, when you're dealing with something as big as Netflix, they don't have the time to worry about such things, I guess.
The time or really the desire, it seems like.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, again, I don't want to give these companies any fucking leeway or give them any rope. It just seems like they don't have the desire to do right by these shows.
Yeah.
To do right by these creators.
Well, you know, hopefully this person, TikToker, I guess is the...
TikToker.
Let's see, what's her name?
TikToker. We're not hosting an intergalactic kicker. TikToker.
Mayer.
Sure.
Last name Mayer. Hopefully, this starts a conversation at least, so that Netflix knows that there is pushback to oversimplifying their international content.
Well, I think it already has, because there was that article that came out about, I mean, it wasn't from Netflix, but it was I can't remember what news source, but it was like, if you want the better translation, you have to go into your settings and pick like the better one, right? And nobody would know to do that. They would just put on closed captioning.
Sure.
But you have to go in and actually pick, like, I don't know, English and not like English closed captioning, or something like that.
Yeah.
And
her full name is Young Me Mayer.
Yeah. Shout out to Young Me Mayer.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, this caused enough of a conversation to where a big news a news media outlet had to didn't have to, I guess, but did talk about how, yeah, the translation is not great if you don't pick the right one.
Right.
This is the lazy one. This is the more accurate one. Like, if you really want to understand the show, you might want to pick this one.
Yeah.
And that's wild, because how many shows are on Netflix? How many shows and movies are on Netflix right now that people have watched and gone, I got it.
Yeah. How much are we not getting?
Yeah. So
very interesting.
This is what it takes, though, is somebody to go, that's fucked up.
That's not right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it always takes.
Well, good for Young Me. All right.
Mm-hmm.
You thirsty?
I'll tell you what, boy.
Uh-huh.
I didn't actually even talk about what happened on my day. I don't even want to get into it now.
Why bring it up?
The reason I bring it up is because I got up super early and, like, I didn't drink any water throughout the day.
Oh, okay.
I actually haven't had a fucking lick of coffee today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you did now.
Yeah, now. Can you imagine going throughout your full day, a weekday, without having a drip of coffee?
No, I'd get a headache.
Yeah, I don't drink it as much as you do, but it makes me irritable because it's become not a thing that I need physically. It's
Uh-huh.
a thing that I need mentally. It's part of my
Sure.
process. I get up not the morning, but I get up when I get up,
Uh-huh.
and I have a cup of coffee and a big glass of water. That's
Right.
how I start my day.
Mhm.
Whether I eat breakfast or not, I always start my day with a big glass of water and some coffee. And I didn't do that because I had shit to do this morning, and it fucking threw the whole thing out of whack.
Yeah.
And now here I am drinking a gigantic bottle of water and getting my only caffeine from the Sixpoint Brewing Company, the barrel-aged porter. It's the barrel-aged 4-bean porter. It's 11.2%. And Adam, what did you think about this brewski, my friend?
Well, I think that we need to do a cheers of the week, my friend.
Oh, that's right. We do need
Clearly,
to do a
you didn't
cheers
have
of the
enough
week.
coffee.
Clearly. I had a cheers too. Hold on.
What are we gonna do? We don't have any more beer.
I mean, we might as well crack open some more.
All
Do you
right.
want to do another? I mean, do you want to grab something lighter, or do you want to do another?
The barrel aged is threatening me and my parents.
It's 11.2%. So maybe grab something lighter.
okay. I can do that.
You do that. I'll try to think about what my cheers was.
You do.
I remember it.
Okay.
it.
All
But
right.
we're good. We're good. I'm not gonna cut this out. Just gonna stretch a little. Stretch. I don't know. Do you guys remember that? Stretch. It's from an episode of Hey Arnold, in which, actually, I think it might be the first episode. I think it might be the pilot episode of Hey Arnold, where, Arnold and Gerald, right? Arnold and Gerald. Yes, perfect. Arnold and Gerald, they're part of the play that Helga's putting on, right? And Arnold's dressed as a banana, and Gerald, I think, is dressed as a strawberry. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
And thank you. And they're supposed to be part of the play, and instead, they find a big thing of cash. I don't remember why or how, which is so funny that they're like, somebody like robbed somebody and they find like a big thing of cash or something. Hey Arnold is way darker than you remember.
Arnold.
And they go off and they do their own thing. They find themselves at like a jazz club, and Arnold's still wearing like the banana shoes of his costume with like this cool outfit. Whatever. Anyway, Helga puts this. You're looking at me like, why are we doing this? Because I'm already here. That's why.
Go off,
And I can't eject.
Uh-huh.
Helga's
That
putting
sounds like a
on-
personal problem.
Helga's putting on this play, and while they're waiting for Arnold and Gerald to show up to sing their parts of the fruit play, she's telling Phoebe to stretch, and she's going, stretch,
Yeah.
stretch. And so anytime I need to do what we just did, that's what I think about.
Thank you. Cheers of the week.
Cheers of the week.
Cheers it up. I guess we should do a mini shout out to Tactical Brewing for their Fest beer, which we had earlier after the podcast last week, and it's very tasty.
That it is.
Yeah.
I should have worn my Lederhosen, but I didn't.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I'll wear it next week. We still got October. There's still
Sure.
enough October left. I'll wear
Why-
my
why not?
Lederhosen.
Why not?
I'll bring it anyway.
Okay. Any hooser.
Your cheers of the week,
My
sir?
cheers of the week is for a game called To the Moon.
To the moon, Alice.
To the Moon.
To the moon.
It's a game I never heard of, but randomly saw on sale on Steam, because I can do that nowadays.
Fuck you.
Yeah, I know. But it came out all the way in 2011, but I'd never heard of it. And it ended up being 100% my jam.
Okay. Talk about it.
It is an old school style pixel kind of point and click adventure / puzzle game
Okay.
where it's dramatically very Spotless Mind.
Oh, okay.
So it's sort of like near future where you're working as these two doctors who are part of this company who can go into your brain in your like final stage of life, like on your deathbed, and implant memories that give you a happy ending to your life.
Oh.
You can request whatever you want. You can, be a war hero. You can, have a happy marriage, whatever, so that you can die at peace, right? So the entire story is about you as these doctors going through this old man who's on his deathbed, going through his life to try to get him to the moon.
Cool.
And that's the entire story, basically.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very old school style. It looks like it could be on like a SNES maybe, or like early PlayStation. It's written really, really well. It surprised me how well it was written. Only like a 4-hour game. I beat it in 5 because I kind of like to search around for stuff.
Of course you do.
But I don't want to give anything away. But if you have a PC, it will run on anything because it's obviously a really old game and, not using too much hardware. But I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Check it out. It has 2 sequels that came out. I don't know how good those are, but I also downloaded those 2 once I beat the first one. It made me ugly cry.
Really?
Yes. It really did. And very few video games can do that. But for some reason, this one just hit home. Home hard. It's about life and death and relationships and mental illness. And it covers a lot of ground that you don't expect. And does so really, really tactfully for a game that came out in 2011.
Yeah.
So, any hooser, check it out. Really good. It is To the Moon by Freebird Games.
I would just like to say for the record, didn't see To the Moon on the IGN list. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I had a debate with my brother about this because he was like, I don't really understand what your big issue was. Like, what's the problem with if a game is voted as the best, if enough people vote on a game, doesn't popularity equal its greatness? Like, can't you just assume that all of those people are voting on that thing for that reason, that it's the best, that they love it the most? And my issue was no. And I'm not going to obviously have an entire hour's worth
rehash that entire topic.
But my entire issue last week was there was no criteria for the list.
Sure. Yeah.
And so how can you decide what's greatness if you have no criteria?
I wouldn't have an issue with him bringing that up if his solution to it was to have a poll or just an entry, like people just enter their favorite game of all time.
Yeah.
Then take that as a result and then make a top 100 or whatever.
Yeah.
And break it down from there.
Yeah. If the list was called like the most popular game of all time or the most fan voted game of all time, I could deal with that.
But even then the issue involved, and we're going over this again, is that they didn't specify how they came to those original Sweet 16.
Right. It was too random.
Right.
And so a game like this, or a game like what was the one where the guy his kid died of cancer and he made that whole game?
Oh yeah,
something that dragon.
Yeah,
something.
Yeah.
That dragon cancer or something like that. Wasn't that what it was?
Something that dragon. Yeah.
Something like that. Again, a game like that where it's like, okay, does that not belong on the list?
That dragon cancer.
Yeah. So like, does that not belong on the list?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, whatever. It's over.
It's over.
It's a good cheers. Makes me want to play the game.
You should.
Yeah. My cheers of the week goes to whoever was involved in bringing Seinfeld to Netflix.
You're here.
Oh, damn it.
Even without the pothole?
That's fine. It's not fine. It's upsetting that it's 2021 and Netflix is like, people want to see it like this.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care about how it was originally presented, which is fucking insane.
It's insane. At least give the option. And I thought they would have learned this because the same thing happened with The Simpsons and Disney Plus.
Exactly.
The aspect ratio, if you don't know, they cut it.
Talk about it.
They chopped it so that it's in widescreen, modern widescreen aspect ratio.
Yeah.
Whereas obviously, especially the older shows, were all shot in the 4:3 or whatever it was, where it's basically a square.
Yeah.
And to chop that out, it's like the movies that were panned and scanned.
Yeah.
Instead of just having the original aspect ratio, because people freaked out because they saw black bars on their TV.
Yeah.
Like idiots.
What is this?
Oh, we didn't get the full movie.
You're a fucking
We didn't get the
moron.
full movie.
So
You got a full screen movie instead of the widescreen. Full screen movies can burn in hell.
Burn in hell.
I hate it.
Talk about it.
I hate it. It makes me so angry. You need the widescreen. You need the widescreen. Okay.
And so here we are in 2021. We've got the show on Netflix, and you've got the aspect ratio all fucked up.
Right.
Be that as it may, Seinfeld is probably my favorite sitcom of all time. I've been waiting for it to finally rear its ugly head on a streaming service that I actually have. I think it was on Hulu for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's on Netflix starting October 1st. And so cheers with me and with everyone else who is a huge Seinfeld fan. I don't care how you feel about Jerry Seinfeld, the person. He's shitty as he is in the show, and the show is filled with shitty characters. I saw this article, and it was actually on Twitter too, but I read the article, and it was 5 reasons why Seinfeld might be hard to connect with the modern audience. Did you see this?
No.
The number one reason was all of the characters are shitty people, and so that's going to be hard for people to connect with. And it's like, oh yeah, that's the point of the show.
Well, also, I mean, famously, Always Sunny's the same exact way.
Same exact
And
way. It's been going on for like 16 seasons.
It's on season 58 or something.
That's the whole point of the fucking show.
Right.
Is they're shitty. I mean, Larry David is famous for no hugging, no learning. Mm-hmm. That's what he said. He said, I don't want anybody hugging, and I don't want anybody learning any lessons. Mm-hmm. All these characters are pieces of shit, and that's the whole point of the show. Is like these are the lowest of the low. They're no one's gonna learn a lesson. Everyone's gonna continue to do bad things for their own interests, and that's what makes the show so great. It's like you're watching these 4 friends who are kind of not great people.
No, they're very
not
bad
good,
people.
and that's awesome.
Yeah.
And so that was one of the reasons that people that I think it was Variety or fucking Entertainment. I don't know. We thought like this is gonna be hard for people to like latch onto because like they don't have some
lovable character.
Yeah, they don't have their lovable schmuck to fucking hang their hat on and say, he's the moral compass of the show. There is no moral compass.
No, they're all insane.
I'm not explaining Seinfeld to people.
Okay,
what I'm saying is watch it or don't. I don't care. That's my cheers of the week.
This was supposed to be a positive segment. Thank you,
You're
Marco.
right. You're right.
Thank
You're
you.
right. Watch Seinfeld because here's the thing. You see how these people getting into these debates about the best sitcoms of all time, right? And you see Friends because Friends was on streaming services for a while, and you see The Office being the number one, the one that like makes me angry. But it is a great sitcom. Like objectively, it is a funny show.
Sure.
Always Sunny, Parks and Rec, and I guess Big Bang Theory.
You have to dig into the past to get anything else, like Cheers or Frasier.
Exactly. So Seinfeld is one of the first shows that it's on Netflix, and you can kind of start to understand. You can kind of start to get context for like what's really a great. How I Met Your Mother is another one.
Right.
And you can kind of get context for like where these shows pull all of these influences from. You can say How I Met Your Mother is the best sitcom of all time, but can you really, if you've never watched Friends, How I Met Your Mother is basically Friends with a smattering of Seinfeld.
Yeah, and just like a really inconsequential for the most part, like framing device of the voiceover in the beginning.
Right.
I mean, they ripped that off of Wonder Years.
Wonder Years, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, can you really say a show like that is the best when their 3 major plot devices are just taken from better shows from before it? But that's your taste.
Sure.
That's your prerogative.
It's whatever you like.
Exactly. But it is nice to know where these things came from. So,
indeed,
that's that. That's how I feel. All right.
All right.
Let's get the freak out of here. But before we can get out of here, we have to review this beer. So, Adam, please tell the people how you felt about the barrel-aged 4-bean porter from the Sixpoint Brewery.
That's a beanie baby, baby.
It's a beanie baby, baby.
I really enjoyed it. I'm a big coffee head, as explained earlier in this podcast. I will say this is one of those that goes a little too heavy on the alcohol.
Okay.
I don't mean that specifically, like how it makes you feel. I mean specifically how it lands on the tongue.
Right.
Because that baby kicks like a mule.
That baby kicks like a mule.
So that being said, I'm gonna have to give it a 4.5.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. It has good coffee flavor. I'm not sure I got the full plethora of things they describe within there, all the vanilla and blah, 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 blah. But it was a pleasant coffee flavor.
Yeah.
Just, it felt like an Irish coffee. Not a bad thing, but not really what I'm looking for as far as a drinkable beer. So 4.5 for me.
I can dig it. I'm actually going to give it a 4.
Okay.
For pretty much the same reasons. I will also say that I thought it was a little too hoppy for being a porter and being basically an imperial porter. I thought it was a little too like bitter and a little too hoppy for what it is. And yeah, I think that the flavor notes are a little muddied. I don't think that they achieve that as well as Sixpoint has done in the past. And the alcohol taste actually doesn't bother me that much. I didn't really, I don't know. I got it obviously, but I wasn't taken aback by it. I guess because I was anticipating it being 11.2%. I was like, well, here we go. And so I kind of like had that in my mind.
It's fair.
It was the other things where it was like those notes really didn't come through. It's just kind of like a muddied coffee flavor. And like I said, a little too hoppy for me for a porter.
Okay.
I didn't like. So
Gotcha.
not to say that it wasn't great or it wasn't bad. It wasn't great. And that's why it gets a 4 out of 6.
All right.
Right? It was good. It was good.
Yeah.
Good.
Good and a half for me.
Good and a good and a half. Good?
Good and a half.
Good. All right, let's get the fuck out of here. This has been the One Beer In podcast from myself, Marco Dupa, and for Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
Yeah,
Thank you guys for listening. Drink delicious beer and have a beautiful evening.